The Heat have taken out the New York Knicks 109-101. Behind Jimmy Butler's 27 points and 10 assists, Bam Adebayo had 23. Jalen Brunson led all scorers with 32 for the Knicks, who are now up against it, trailing 3-1 in this best-of-7 game Eastern Conference semifinal series, with Game 5 set for Wednesday night at Madison Square Garden in New York. For more on Monday night's Game 4 win for the Miami Heat, we welcome in former NBA Coach of the Year and NBA champ as a player with the Spurs, Avery Johnson. And, Coach, look, this was a game where it looked like the Heat were kind of ahead the whole way, but were never able to pull away from the Knicks, who just kept hanging around. The spread ended up being 8 points at the end of the game, but what was the difference in your estimation?
I think it was the Miami Heat's offensive rebounding, especially in the fourth quarter. They dominated the boards, and it wasn't necessarily the usual suspects like Bam Adebayo. It was the other guys like Kyle Lowry, Strus. Those guys ran up in there to get offensive rebounds. It was the wing players that were dominating the boards while the Knicks players were standing around ball watching. And that gave, the Heat more time to run another offensive set. Jimmy Butler gets an offensive rebound. That keeps the Knicks out of transition. It limits the Knicks' offensive possessions. So give the Heat credit. They really dominated the offensive glass. They made the Knicks pay the price. And when you're getting offensive rebounds, that helps your defense, and you're limiting the other teams from getting out in transition, that's a huge plus for you.
Jimmy Butler didn't go nuts again like he has, in these playoffs, but it is 10 straight playoff games now. We're 25 plus for Jimmy Butler. I kind of have a two-part question for you about Jimmy. Is he leveling up right now as far as his profile in the NBA? And is there pressure growing on Jimmy now to actually take this Miami Heat team farther than maybe we all thought they could go?
Absolutely. And Jimmy is playoff Jimmy. He loves this time of the year. And you got to remember, this is a much more experienced team. So when you look at Jimmy, he's got guys like Kyle Lowry that's been around the block several times. Unlike the Knicks, they got Quentin Grimes, in his first playoff series. Mitchell Robinson, obviously limited playoff experience. But, when you look at Brunson, he's the guy that's got the most playoff experience on their team. But Jimmy's been here. He's been to the finals. Kyle Lowry's won a championship. So you got one team looking like a sort of AAU team that's glad to be in the second round of the playoffs, and a team like the Knicks that's aspiring higher to get back to the NBA finals, where Kyle Lowry's trying to win his second ring and Jimmy Butler's trying to win his first ring. Two totally different teams. And the Heat's doing it even without Tyler Hero, a guy that they were counting on to provide a lot of point production and three-point accuracy from behind the three-point line.
Yeah, Coach, look, we're talking during this whole game, and you mentioned something that happened towards the end of the first half. There was a sequence of play that you said you wanted to point out because it kind of exemplified what was going on. Take us through that, if you will.
Well, it's all about decisions. And players, when they're going down here, you can see right here, Julius Randle. There's nothing there. Here, Quentin Grimes, you trying to go up and dunk over Jimmy Butler. Nobody's home. The ball should be moved. You should come to 2 for jump shot. And the byproduct of that, look at the decisions from Miami. Bam Adebayo said, hey, it's not my shot. I'm going to kick it to my teammate, play off 2 feet, penetrate and pitch. You look at a team that's under control from the Miami Heat and the Knicks team that's out of control, and that's what you get. And you have one team that's efficient on the offensive end and another team that's inefficient on the offensive end. And that's why the Heat, they've taken a commanding 3-1 lead in this series.
Look, we know the Knicks will have one thing going for them on Wednesday night, and that'll be the crowd at Madison Square Garden. Those New York Knicks fans are going to do their best to keep their team away from elimination. But on the court, what do the Knicks have to clean up if they're going to have any chance of extending this series?
One of the things I'm really curious about with Coach Tom Thibodeau from the Knicks, they're allowing small forwards in shooting guards to guard their center, Mitchell Robinson. And their center is guarding, Bam Adebayo is guarding Julius Randle. They got to run something to get Mitchell Robinson some sort of a deep paint catch against some of these small forwards and shooting guards. You cannot allow, under no circumstances, a 2-guard to guard your 7-foot center and make him useless on the offensive end, except for him trying to secure an offensive rebound. I'll see what Tom Thibodeau, because right now Eric Spoelstra has found a matchup that he likes, and that's what's limiting Julius Randle's success, because Bam Adebayo and their bigger players are limiting his efficiency on the offensive end. But Mitchell Robinson, 6 points tonight against a small forward or a 2-guard. You can play Kyle Lowry against Mitchell Robinson right now, and they're not even looking to throw him the ball.
And right now, the Miami Heat are pushing all the right buttons. An 8-point win over the Knicks in Game 4, a 3-1 lead in the best-of-7 game series, with Game 5 coming our way on Wednesday night. Avery Johnson, Coach, thank you so much for the knowledge. Much appreciated.
Thank you.
And, of course, Jimmy Butler is one of the main reasons why the Miami Heat are up 3-1 on the Knicks, having a fantastic postseason once again. Playoff Jimmy, and now he's got 10 straight 25-point games in the postseason for the Miami Heat. Only LeBron James, with 16 straight in 2012-2013 season, has more.